Hey guys, this is the Prince of Macedon, and I'm doing a commentary video for Empire Total War multiplayer. This is a USA versus Cherokee Nations battle. I command the USA, and my opponent is Stargatemichael in command of the Cherokee Nations. This is a no rules battle fought on the Ceylon map. I hate this map, but my opponent was a host, and I did not leave because when I saw my opponent using Native American troops, I really wanted to stay and see them in action. So anyways, my opponent has two units initially visible, and that was a cavalry unit and a artillery piece. And you can see on the little mini-map, another unit became visible towards my left flank, and that is a, I believe some kind of a musket unit. And they disappeared in that little forestry. And here's my opponent's single cavalry squadron. He brought mainly infantry, as you can see. There's some more muskets. And here's my opponent's artillery piece. And honestly, I didn't know the Cherokees had artillery pieces in this game, so that's why I didn't bring any artillery for myself. Alright, here's my opponent's unit that disappeared by my left flank. Those are just musket men. And he put tons of upgrades on his musket dudes. And this is my very first time ever encountering a Native American player. But I was pretty intrigued by playing against one because I have never seen them in action before. Alright, so I'm advancing towards the center of what I believe is my opponent's center. And right here I didn't see my opponent's troops here. This is my extreme right. He has more of these musket dudes firing on my right flank, and here I did not see them doing that. So I'm losing tons of my dragoons over here. And for short, I'm just going to call them goons. Anyways, the rest of my army, I have long riflemen, line infantry. I think I have some guard units, and I have my my regiment of horse. And here's my long riflemen. I put all my upgrades into them because I thought they would be best suited for fighting against Native American troops. Alright. So yeah, once again, this is a no rules battle. So pretty much anything was allowed. Alright, so here's a little close-up of the Native American troops. You can see they have the little war paint on their faces. And they get very athletic builds. But, yeah, the Cherokee Nations very rich and prestigious people. And you can see that more of my opponent's troops are becoming visible now. So pretty much these guys are kind of like long riflemen. But I think they have more troops in their respective units here. So it's a very tricky thing fighting against these Native Americans, from what I'm gathering anyways. Because as I said, this is my first time playing against them, so I don't have very much experience with them. In fact, I have zero experience with them. But they have stretched their lines out completely, so I'm trying to stretch my lines out to match them. And here I'm bringing up my line infantry a little bit closer so they can trade fire with these troops here. And there goes my drummer boy. So we're trying to reload here, and yeah, our lines are pretty much matched up right now in terms of length. So I'm trying my best to flush these dudes out because my opponent is using a guerrilla-style warfare to fight me, and it's pretty appropriate considering that he's using the Native Americans. But at this point, I decided to launch my left-wing cavalry into his dudes, and that's going to break the morale of some of these Native American troops. And I'm going to push through the forest too with my other regiment of horse. And seeing the success of my cavalry charge, I'm going to continue to charge forward. And I'm going to follow up on the heels of my cavalry with my line infantry. So whenever you have success, I think it's best to follow up on your success. Even though there's a risk that my opponent might have more troops waiting for me, which he does. I think the risks outweigh or the benefits outweigh the risks here. So I don't mind losing a few of my horses, because I can push forward with my line infantry, and by doing so, that will restrict the freedom for my opponent to operate with. And by doing that, that will limit his guerrilla tactics. So we're fighting in the forest now, and you can hear his guys cheering because they really love to fight. But now there's there's more of his guys compared to my horses here. So I'm trying to bring up my infantry, or at least I thought I was. You can see my general bit the dust already, which is appropriate, considering that my name in this battle was Custer. Okay, so I lost my horses on my left wing, but I'm bringing up my light infantry to solidify my cavalry's gains. And there you can see that my opponent lost his artillery. And I'm pretty glad, because I didn't really like those artillery pieces firing at my troops from afar. So my opponent's bringing more of his troops into a visible range. And here's my goons. I decided to charge at his musketeer. And I just want to flush them out. And I got two of my goon squadrons here, charging into that unit of muskets. But I know now that he has more troops in that forest nearby. So once I get rid of those dudes, I'm going to charge into that forest. And you can see my line infantry moving into the forest to flush out the guerrillas. And there they are. So pretty much my opponent is using a defense in depth strategy. Basically, the more I push forward, the stronger his defense will become, because as he pushes backwards, his lines become stronger. But I'm going to persist in coming forward here. And that's because basically my opponent has more longer ranged units than I do. So if I stay back, he's going to beat me. So my only chance of beating him is to keep pushing forward. I'm going to show you a little close-up of the action here. Here's my light infantry. We're going to reload and we're going to fire into that thickness of forestry there. And we'll try to get some Native American troops. So here's my light infantry. And bam, we're going to fire into them. Alright, because this battle is so long, and because my opponent is using these delaying tactics, I will have to cut off 4 minutes of this battle. But you can see that I'm slowly but surely wearing out his units. And here's my long riflemen. We're going to fire on the flanks of those musket dudes. And here I launched one of my line infantry to charge into his muskets, and I was successful here. So that's good, because now I broke a hole into a piece of his line here. So you have to keep up the pressure any way you can. And you can see a lot of his troops starting to rout now. So I'm pretty successful on this on the left flank here. And here's a close-up of the action in the forest. Those are my long riflemen. I'm gonna move them forward, and you can see that my long riflemen have the bulk of my upgrades. And here I'm gonna cut off 4 minutes here. And that's my general. He's dead. I already showed that. But I'm gonna cut off 4 minutes very soon. I thought it was done, but I guess this can be later. But basically what's gonna happen is you can see me pushing down his left flank. They are all going to rout here. But in the process, my opponent on the right flank is going to withdraw his troops onto the hill. But I will show you that in a bit. Should be coming up here. But yeah, I'm winning in the center and on the left. But on the right, he is bringing his troops to this hill here. And here's the action on the hill. This is my opponent's last stand. And I'm going to charge into them with my bayonets. But over on the left flank, I'm very successful. It's just a matter of bringing my troops from the left flank to this hill here. This is my extreme right. This is where he's doing his last stand. So even if he does manage to kill these troops, he still has to contend with my remaining troops. And I've got a lot of them. But this is his last stand here. And this is a very fitting end for his brave Native American troops. And I had no qualms with charging into his dudes, because I figured that, yeah, even if he beats these guys back, he still has to contend with the rest of my troops. But this would be a very heroic end for his brave troops. And they finally rout. And that's the last of his troops. And they will run away. But good game to my opponent. I will let you see the results yourselves. But yeah, good game to Stargatemichael. Hope you guys enjoyed this battle.